Hello and welcome back to the Black Countryman. In this video we are going to be prepping some pheasant. I had my first game day of the season on the 23rd of November. It was a lovely walked up day in the middle of Norfolk. It was just an amazing day out with my brother and father-in-law, shooting very well compared to how we would normally do. Between us we shot 6 birds each, and the other gentleman that was with us shot 2. In this video I'm going to be showing you how I would prepare pheasant, and we're also going to have a look at a slightly different way of prepping a pheasant that I haven't actually done before. So when you go game shooting, at the end of the day you normally take home a brace of birds, what is 2 birds, normally being a cock bird, what is a male bird, and a hen, what is a female bird. You'll be able to tell the difference between these. The male pheasant has lovely red and autumnal colours, the female is a bit more dull. The male has long tail feathers that he would use during the summer months to get his freak on with the hen birds. Because in the animal kingdom the hen birds are actually the ones that get to pick, so it's all up to the cock bird to show off what he's got, and they do that with their tail feathers. So the 2 ways that we're going to be looking at prepping these birds is, one is breasting them, which is going to be very similar to how I would do my pigeon. And then secondly, it is going to be getting the whole bird ready. I would normally pick breasting the bird because there's not a lot of meat elsewhere, and the legs don't normally have a great deal of meat on them. But because in this occasion the gamekeeper that we were with was happy for us to take our birds home, due to my father-in-law also shooting recently at the local syndicate, I've ended up with 10 pheasants at home. So I've got a bit of an opportunity to have a try at having a whole bird, maybe for a roast dinner in the future. So what we'll now do is we'll now move over to the utility, and I will show you in real life, in real time, of how I would prep these pheasants. On the table I will have a cock bird and a hen bird, just so that I can show you exactly what a brace is like. So in this first case I'm actually going to be prepping the hen bird because I need to pluck the cock bird anyway, because we're going to be making some, we're going to keep the tail feathers for some hats, and all of these lovely colours in here we're going to put into a baubles to sell. So in the first instance we have our hen bird that we are going to in this case we are just going to breast out the hen bird. So a lot of people have different ways. There's actually 3 different ways that we can get a breast out a pheasant, but I'm actually going to be showing you, I'll show you the 3 different ways. The whole bird breasting out so you can pull it away from the bird so you've got the 2 breasts intact, and then the way how I would do my pigeon, what is literally, I'll show you out here. We're just going to separate the 2 breasts individually. So in the first instance what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, so that you don't have to pluck anything. This is one of the easiest ways that I've learned, and actually this is a good bird to do it on because it's been shot through the leg, so the legs are going to have shot through them. If you grab up here and make an incision, you can then get your fingers in and you can then just pull away all of the feathers like this straight away, and that straight away exposes the breast, and you haven't got to go through all of the trouble of carefully plucking so you don't rip the skin and carefully getting all the innards and all of that. This is very simple. Make a small incision, pull away the skin so that you can see all of the breast, and then what we will do in this instant is the breastbone that is right in the middle, what you can hear, you will cut down each side following the breastbone, and then we will then basically follow it down to the rib cage, slice it so that we end up with a breast. So I'll do that for you now, and we're just going to remove the crop just from this area here, just so that we can optimize the amount of breast that we get. So in this case here, we're just going to follow the breastbone, making sure we're not wasting any meat, follow it down, making sure to keep the feathers out of the way, but I will just keep on cutting down, and then we'll do the same at the top, making sure not to waste any of the breast. And then what I do, just to make it easier for myself, is I flip the bird around, following this down here, and we'll just keep on slicing away, and then all of a sudden, where it joins up to the wing, and there is, when it focuses, there is our pheasant breast taken out of the bird without having to do any faffing around. And just to show you how easy it is, we'll then do the same on the exact same side. And on a pheasant, the breast does go down quite a way compared to something like a pigeon. Yet again, another lovely breast. And as you can see, in this case here, we've taken all of the breast out. We haven't had to faff around doing anything else to the bird. And that can then go straight into the bin and ready to be eaten. For this next one, I'm actually going to be breasting it, but in a slightly different way. Exactly the same, that we're going to just get the breasts out, but instead of doing it individually, it keeps the two breasts together. Yet again, this bird's been shot through and broken its legs. So yet again, not something that we'd want to completely pluck. So in the same instance, you want to grab a piece of skin and you want to nick it, he says. Get a bit of skin and just nick it. We're then going to get our fingers in again, and we're going to push around the pheasant, getting your hands in, pushing down and getting all of the breast completely exposed and just pushing everything away. Now in this instance, what we then do is at the bottom here where the breast ends, you're actually just going to make a small incision, very small, pop your fingers in, and you're actually just going to push the breastbone away from everything else. The bird, holding the bird down, but just pushing the breast away from everything else. Now in this, when you do it like this, the pheasant breast is still going to be attached in three places. It's going to be on the two wings and towards the neck area. Now what's best to do is actually just to get a pair of scissors and push away, and where you get to the wing, it's just best just to cut through this area here. You will then go to the other side. You will do exactly the same, in that when you get to the wing, you're actually just going to cut away. Then the last thing to do in this case would be just to cut away at the neck. Just about being slightly delicate as well. And just like that, I'll clear this one up a little bit. Chicken breast completely intact, front and back completely intact, and that is ready to be roasted. Now I've got one of my cockbirds here that I think is relatively intact. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to fully pluck this bird. I'm going to take out the wing feathers like I mentioned earlier. I'm going to take out some of these feathers here. The key is not to rush, and the key is to keep the skin tight. I've never done this, so this could be wrong, but I'm going to start plucking this now. So we're getting to the point where we're about to move over to the front here. So yet again, flipping over, keeping the skin tight, and then just work it, pulling up and away, and we'll continue to do this until we've got the whole bird. And then when we get to the wings, we're going to this first joint. Sorry, we're going to pluck up to the first joint, cut through with scissors. Same with the legs. There's a clear distinctive once we've got plucking, but I'll carry on plucking this bird. So we're getting there with this. It's not going to be perfect. The wing on here is pretty damaged, so you want to go to this first joint, what is probably an inch or so. You want to cut down the skin to where you get to the joint, and then you basically want to pull back. Yeah, look, that's already broken further up. But what you would do is you would pull back the opposite way, the bone will pop, and you have a natural place to cut. So we're almost getting there now. I'm actually just going to sort of tidy up some of the bits where I've rushed through, and then we'll get through to taking out the innards. Also, exactly the same with the legs. You can see there's a clear line where the meat meets the scaly feet, and you'll just want to cut down there and push them the opposite way of where they need to go. As you can see, there's a pop, and then there is a clear line of what needs to be cut. Some people use scissors, what I think I'm actually going to do in this case. And as you can see, that leaves a lovely leg at the end there. We'll do the same with this one. We'll just clear up this area a little bit better. So like that, grab it, pop it the opposite way, get your scissors in there, and that gives just the innards left. But we're just going to continue to tidy up. We had a little bit of a damaged area here where we've lost a little bit of skin while plucking, but we're actually now going to go for the innards. So the innards, it is going to smell a little bit, and you will want your bin nearby. You want to make a small nick, exactly as if we was going to de-breast it. Small nick, and then what we're going to actually do is pop our fingers in, 2 fingers. You're going to follow the rib cage. That's the important part. You want your fingers at the top, and you want to go towards as far back as you can, and just pull it all forward. And in this case, I'm going to just pop it straight into the bin. Just need to make sure you've got all of the innards out, and in this case, I've done quite a good job there of getting most of it out. And then what I'll do is we'll clear up this little bit here, we'll cut it, we'll rinse it through with water, but we're almost happy days. We're not 100% finished, but you guys have got the gist here. We've got the whole chicken. What you do at the end is you just get the 2 legs, squeeze it up towards the stomach, and that sort of gives you the traditional, if you can actually tuck it in to the innards there a little bit, you've actually got the perfect shape for your roasting bird. We're going to dry this out, and we're just going to sort of go over it with a lighter just to get rid of and singe off the last of the hairs, and then job's a good one.